Good evening, everyone. It's 5:45, and it's time to begin the Community Development Committee meeting for Monday, February 6, 2023. May I have a roll call, please?
Chairman Rivera.
Present.
Alderman Moisio. Here. Alderman Florian.
Present.
Alderman Hayes.
Present.
Alderman Turner.
Present.
Thank you. I need a first and a second to approve the minutes from the January 3rd, 2022 regular meeting.
So moved.
Seconded.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, who was the second?
Mr. Hayes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. The next item is audience time. Is there anyone here in the audience that would like to speak regarding anything that's on the agenda?
Got a bunch.
Okay, you have 3 minutes.
Chuck Ruxtalis, resident of Waukegan. I'm sure all of you folks have a copy of my email regarding the land use and zoning and restrictions when it comes to the ethylene oxide that's coming out of Medline and other facilities, and the cleanup at the Waukegan Harbor with the coal ash. I thought I'd speak loud enough. Yeah, I think everybody on the committee got my email, but my take is that, frankly, if you spent as much time on the the city manager and the way Alderman Turner puts up his yard signs, I think we'd be farther along on environmental issues. And my suggestion to this group, since it's on the committee there, if this aldermanic group cannot get it done, I would appoint a commission to get it done. You have a number of home rule cities that are in this area, and my take on it is that home rule allows the power to control, regulate, and protect public health. So instead of this being in the Community Development Committee, I believe it should be a standing committee on its own on environmental issues, and really take this seriously, because obviously everybody out of Lake County is not interested in this, and at the state and federal level it's not getting done. So I would think that 9 aldermen on this group here would put something together and control any expansion that we have in these warehouses and other facilities, and make sure that the lakefront is cleaned up and they take away both coal ash ponds. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello, Alderman. My name is Brandon Ewing. I am here representing the Waukegan Public School Board, and I just want to come out tonight because I know we are looking for a provisional use permit for our 214 Washington project. There have been questions that I've been getting related to just certain concerns that were raised, and so I wanted to clear up any misconceptions. In fall of 2019, the majority of the Board of Education voted to purchase the former First Midwest Bank building located at 214 Washington with the intention of relocating administration staff from Lincoln Center to the new building. Due to the pandemic, that was put on hold. However, in the interim, thanks to the invitation of our state representative, Mayfield, we were able to view a wraparound center which was located in Peoria, Illinois. Subsequent conversations figuring out how to best allow this building to serve the community and our students was to put a wraparound center in the bottom floor of our new administrative offices. These services will be social services agencies. We've all talked about the benefit of making sure that our social service agencies are connected to provide these services. We have worked to make sure that the groups that we bring in do not impact businesses. There were loitering concerns. We talked about appointment only. There were parking concerns. We are in the process of negotiating a lease for additional parking. And so I just wanted to make clear to the council that we are committed to being good neighbors, and we want to make sure that we have the resources needed to support our community. We hear all the time about the needs of our students, and they are great, and so this wraparound center will go a long way in helping us to provide the social, to satisfy the social emotional learning needs of our students in District 60. So I'm open in here for any questions that the council may have, but this project brings 100 bodies into downtown Waukegan. There is no cafeteria, which means that the individuals in this building will be supporting our downtown businesses. And it is primarily functioning as a administrative building, but it will house all of our parent-facing services, which will be on the first floor. Right now, as a parent in Waukegan, you have to go to 3 different buildings in order to register your kids for school: Welcome Center, Lincoln Center, and the school building. This will consolidate that into one location. So this is good for our community, it's good for our residents, and thanks to the state in this wraparound center, a large majority of the funding is coming from the state to provide that wraparound center. So we were able to do that at very low impact to the taxpayer. So wanted to be here, I'm available, just wanted to make that clear and hope that you all will support moving the wraparound center and our provisional use permit forward. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Should we ask questions on this now or wait till we get?
You may ask questions right now.
Yeah, thank you. I just, wow.
Well, it would probably,
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Stuart.
it would probably be appropriate when you have a motion on the floor, and then you can call up the applicant.
All right. Thank you, Stuart, for clarifying that. Anyone else would like to talk during audience time?
Good evening, committee members. My name is Nick Aladzakis. I'm with the Waukegan School District as well. Speaking on a different item on your agenda this evening, and that has to do with the landmarking of the wall or fence at 1201 North Sheridan Road. I'm going to be reading a letter on behalf of our superintendent, Teresa Placencia. She couldn't be here this evening because of a family emergency that unexpectedly took her out of state. So I'm going to begin. Good evening, committee members. I want to thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts in writing as I'm unable to attend this evening's meeting due to an unexpected family obligation. As our staff, Board of Education, has done both in public meetings and in a resolution, I would first like to acknowledge that I understand the relevance that the wall at 1201 North Sheridan holds for some individuals in the community. That fact is not lost on us, and I can assure each of you that decisions related to this wall have been difficult ones for myself and my team. Unfortunately, this issue was thrust upon us by a pair of car crashes last winter, which caused damage so significant that it must be addressed. As I'm sure you can tell from the photos in your packets, the wall is deteriorating. Yes, the recent crash locations are the most obvious damage, but throughout the wall there is failing brick and mortar that would require major work to achieve and maintain structural and or historical integrity. As it exists, we do not believe the wall exhibits the integrity in design, materials, or workmanship detailed in your landmarking ordinance. Our administration team has proposed replacing the current wall with a boundary that stretches the length of the west property line, made of pillars and fencing, similar to a boundary of a neighboring property along Sheridan Road. This proposal would attempt to salvage many of the existing bricks to use in those pillars. This plan has not yet been approved by our Board of Education and would not come before them, again, if the city moves forward with landmarking. Our Board of Education has formally adopted a resolution stating it is against the landmarking of the wall. A copy of that resolution can be found in your packets, and we also read that, some major components of that into the record last month. If it is the desire of the committee and the city council that the wall be landmarked, then we fully intend to comply with the regulations related to Waukegan's landmarking ordinance. It should be known, however, that doing so will come with added complications on our part related to increased cost and reduced flexibility to use our property in a way that best meets the needs of the district. Additionally, at last month's committee meeting, a discussion was had about the process to potentially undo the landmarking designation in the future should it be requested by a property owner or a developer. I believe that providing for such rule to remove a landmark designation would be inconsistent with the purpose of issuing its historical designation in the first place. In closing, we ask that the Commission to deny the landmark request on the basis it does not meet the standards set forth in the Historic Landmark Preservation Ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else would like to speak?
Good evening, everyone. State Representative Rita Mayfield. I'm here to speak on behalf of the Wraparound Center and hoping for favorable consideration. What we are hoping to do through the state of Illinois with the Wraparound Center is very similar to what they did in Peoria. And feel free to Google the Peoria Wraparound Center. It is amazing. Basically, we're looking to provide a one-stop shop for our parents, for them to go to receive the services that they need to register their children, to receive information, where do I go for assistance? Who do I contact if my child is in crisis? And that doesn't mean that we're housing all of these services in one spot. It means that it's an ombudsman type service. This is a professional building. It is not, I've heard things about, there are going to be crackheads there. No, they're not offering drug services inside of the building. That is not what it is there for. It is so that we can link individuals who are in need or may have family members who are in need with the critical services. Where do you go if you have a child in crisis? Where do you go if you have a family member in crisis? If you need food, if you need clothing, if you need community support. A lot of times people do not know where they can go, but we're going to offer them this one-stop facility where they can go and get the information that they need as opposed to running all over town in order to receive that. This is going to bring revenue into our downtown area. I've heard, concerns about parking. We've got, 5 open lots and numerous empty parking garages. That is an opportunity for the city to receive revenue. Nobody's asking you to give them the parking spots for free. Charge them. You charge anybody else. But this will be a boon. As President Ewing stated, we're bringing individuals into downtown. They're going to be utilizing our restaurants that are downtown. Maybe we can reopen our coffee shop. We've got stores down here. The whole goal is to bring as many people into our downtown so that they know what services are available, but they're also availing themselves of the resources that are available downtown. So again, just hoping for favorable consideration. The state of Illinois did provide funding for both the operation and the build out of these buildings. So it's very hopeful that we can move forward on this. And I will stay and answer any questions as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other comments?
Good evening. My name is Joseph Hughes. I'm a longtime downtown property owner, own the Merchants Block building on Genesee and Water Streets. I'm here regarding the Wraparound Center. Gary and I have done a lot with the Merchants Block building over the past 37 years. The member in the audience here, it's been a long journey. Many years ago, I was president of the Waukegan Downtown Association as well as a vice president and board member. We certainly welcome the Waukegan School Administration move to 214 Washington Street. However, I would have to say for lack of knowledge, I have some concerns about the Wraparound Center and wonder if it's a good fit for this prominent downtown location. The city does own the Associated Bank block, or at least most of the Associated Bank block, if not the entire thing at this point, and obviously desire to see that developed someday. Someday it will be developed, and so that obviously the city has a stake in this game here also, in the whole town. So we've had a couple people from the school district here, and I guess I hesitantly, or I just need to know more about it. And we said, yeah, that's about it then. Thank you for your consideration.
Right. Thank you very much, sir. Anyone else from the audience?
Hello. Appreciate the opportunity to address the council. See the school boards here and the school districts here. I'm also a long-term property owner in the downtown area. I manage about 100 units within a few blocks of this facility right here. And I'm questioning why the school district has to administrate the wraparound program, the mental health side to all the citizens of Waukegan. And if I say something wrong that I'm missing, because I don't have all the information, I'd like to know about it, and anybody can chirp it right in. You know, we have a school district that's, you know, I see it as struggling. We have a 70-some% graduation rate. The academic performances, even at the grade schools.
Sir, can you talk into the mic, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. We have a performance in our grade schools is not even meeting required standards. 23% of the children, I think it's K through 5, are reading at an acceptable or a level that would be proficient. That's one. We, if you look on a scale of 1 to 10, our school's rated 1. Do we need to give the school district another job to do that I think should be handled in the private sector? Not to mention, I know there's parking lots that are out there that are underused, but when you're going to into a store, you're coming to Waukegan, are you going to walk 2 blocks to go get your a sandwich or something like that? It's not happening much. I don't see that. And Waukegan struggled a few years ago with social services that brought our downtown area down. And there was an effort that took up to about 10 years to disperse those out into the community in easier to access facilities. This is the far east end of Waukegan, okay? Centrally located. St. Therese Hospital does a lot of this. They're experts at it. They know what they're doing, and I think they could be, you know, brought into the picture to help service a mental illness problem that we badly need. And the school district, I think, is the wrong executor of this particular operation, and I think we want to keep our downtown in a nice state.
Thank you, Mr. Hahn.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Businesses.
Thank you very much, sir. Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
Hello, my name is Mickey Shrug. I own a few properties in downtown Waukegan. Own and manage 19 Genesee. We invested about a little more of $500,000 last year on remodeling facade and remodeling apartments, turning into luxury apartments. We also own a building 218 Washington, which is right next door. And we put in a little close to $1 million in turning apartments. There's 3 apartments and 1 commercial storefront into luxury apartments and upscale storefront. And I just came here to express my voice that I don't think it's going to be a good fit next to a luxury apartment that we invested into. And we need, as a city, decide what we want Waukegan downtown to look like as upscale luxury apartments to attract quality tenant, or we want it to be epicenter of social services. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. One more?
I am Gary Reinhardt. I've spent most of my working life in downtown Waukegan. I had the Greyhound franchise years ago. I had package broker shipping and crating service. And I master leased the merchant block apartment with Joe Hughes. And I guess first and foremost, I'm going to say I'm guilty. When I was taking care of the merchant block building, I rented to the Cool Food Pantry. I rented to I+, both social services, and everything else. My tenants were furious with me. The disruptions, the parking, everything just went bad. It was not a good idea to bring these particular social services down to the downtown area, not our business district. It didn't match up whatsoever. I remember back in the day when the Pads Plus was down on South Genesee Street. Oh my God, I'd get calls to come on, well, I guess I'm getting off course. So I'm concerned about the other services that are being offered through this program. Honestly, I do not believe whatsoever in my heart that we need another food pantry. I still have rental property. My God, I have to warn my tenants, you can't put that much canned goods into a wall cabinet in your kitchen. There is nobody starving in Waukegan. They're storing boxes of it, and they actually put it out on the porch to give away to other people. Hams, turkeys on holidays are being sold. So nobody's hungry in Waukegan right now. I mean, there's so many pantries that are available for the residents. I kind of lost track here, but I think that honestly, after all the years I've spent in downtown Waukegan, all the people I've met, all the tenants that I've had great relationships with, I think we're going backwards, honestly. I think we're truly going backwards for the downtown area and exposing more of kind of chaotic situations to the business people down here is just not right. I mean, downtown it's a struggle as it is for parking and whatever else. Not so bad right now with the bank being vacated, but when that bank was in business, I would pass by the Subway thinking, oh, I'll pick up a sandwich. I'm not going to park 2 blocks down for a Subway. I'll go to Home Depot and pick up a hot dog. It just doesn't feel to me like it fits for the downtown business area, quite frankly. So, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, sir. If there's no one else, we will proceed. Yes.
Do I got 3 minutes?
3 minutes, yes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Adriana Gonzalez. I am on the school board for Waukegan School District. I thank everybody who came out and spoke, I guess, against the wraparound center. And I want to speak specifically to you, Ms. Florian, to Mr. Turner, Mr. Rivera. Not that everyone else doesn't matter, but I think, if you want to do right by the people who live here in your wards and in Waukegan, I think that counts every single one of us, because there are people that go hungry in Waukegan. There are people that need services and don't know where to go. And there's some of our services that do fall short because they don't have the necessary either translation services or access services that some of our residents need. They're in our schools. Our students are their kids. And I see them literally on my way down here when they need, just a lot of different things, whether it be food, whether it be car services, whether it be, just different individuals that can help them on their educational trajectory. A lot of our students are in dire needs, and this is just a way to help that. I think it makes a lot of sense because CLC is also bringing investments into downtown. I think we could do a little bit of everything. We have a shelter here downtown, just like we have a jail, just like we have all these other things, and those people need services. So I really want you guys to take into consideration, yes, that we need business, but we need to also keep the people who are living here in Waukegan, remaining here in Waukegan with the support systems that they need. And that one doesn't necessarily exclude the other. I think that if we started seeing those homeless people or those people that need services as potential customers and an income base, that our city would be the city that it needs to be for all of our residents. So I just wanted to say that because as part of the school board, I want y'all to respect the movement and the initiatives that we're trying to pursue, just like you guys are trying to pursue to bring investment here. But inflation is real, and it's only going to continue being a bigger problem for a lot of our families that are not earning higher incomes. So this is just a stepping stone in the right direction to help support our students. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, we will go ahead and proceed. We have, pardon? Oh, we have, okay.
I'm Nicole Hernandez. I'm a parent. As much as you guys want this to go through, you have to get your own HR together and actually do your jobs before you try to confront a whole multi-million-dollar thing going on, okay? Today, I brought it to HR's attention. It actually started last week. Basically, the district has social workers labeled as social workers without a Type 73 license, which is required to be a social worker. So if we can't even, if we're sending people to the school to be mental health professionals as social workers and they're not even certified to do that, that's a problem, first of all. That's a problem not only for the individual that you're allowing to do illegal behavior, but all the children that they could be potentially harming because you guys aren't doing your job, because you don't want to email back, because you guys want to sit here and pretend like everything is okay. That's not okay. You have to do your job, period. Now, why are you guys so excited about this? Because of money. It all comes down to free money. It doesn't come down to the students. It doesn't come down to the families. It comes down to free money. Okay, we have entire outreach workers that are supposed to go to the people's houses and check up on them. Do they do that? No, they don't. We have an entire homeless program that has zero accountability for the funding, the entire program. That's a problem. Okay, so if we have all these social workers and all these pretend people that are supposed to be helping people, how about we make sure those people help people before you try to start a whole new environment and a whole new multi-million-dollar facility and pretend like everything is okay when you know darn well that what you're doing is wrong. It's wrong. And all of you that don't want to look at me, that's why, because it's wrong. And you know what you're doing is wrong. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we will now proceed. The next item would be the old business. We will do new business first, as the item for old business is associated with the items F and G.
Committee, Chair Rivera?
I'm sorry.
That would, an amendment to the agenda would require a quick motion and can be done by a voice vote.
Okay.
To move that over, to move that down to the bottom.
All right, may I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Seconded.
Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. All right, so now we can proceed with new business. And item A is reconsideration of ordinance 22-0-230 regarding the vacation of Shervin Avenue and petitioner's request to amend the set price. May I
Second.
have a motion and a second?
Second.
What's the amendment to the price? What's the amendment? What was the old price? What's the original price? What's the new price?
I believe the information was in the packet that was included within the board docs, but I think 25,000 was the, is that correct?
It was 27,000 and change, just under 28,000.
Yeah.
And we're going to adjust it to what?
The applicant is requesting to purchase it for 2,500.
28,000, 2,500?
Correct.
I would,
28,000 down to 2,500.
well, now, let's get some history.
That's
This
the
is-
request.
This is a wetlands. You can't build anything on it.
Correct.
It's going back on, it's a vacation of our property to a business owner who's going to
Going
build
back on
brand
the
new
tax
facilities.
rolls.
Getting it back?
It's going to go back on the tax rolls. It's never going to be built on. I propose $1. We're going to make up the money. It's going to go on the tax rolls. We'll make it up in the property taxes and the taxes in no time. Again, business friendly. Why bust up a guy's business? He's moving. We all know Big Ed. We all know he's the best. Not that we wouldn't do it for somebody else, but I mean, he's moving from one place in Waukegan to another place, building a new facility. It's wetlands. You can't do anything with it.
Correct.
I propose $1.
Can we amend it to
Would,
Alderman?
would we have to have we would have to have a,
Yeah, we just amendment.
amendment?
Price of a dollar.
So this is, just for the technical benefit of the audience, back in December, an ordinance was adopted by the city council to vacate a portion of unimproved Shermer Avenue. This is basically a road that was not constructed, is that correct? Sherman Avenue. Sorry, I just watched Ferris Bueller's with my daughter, so I was thinking of Shermer High School. Sherman Avenue. And it was never constructed, and so this is a piece of public property that abuts a private property owner who has a restaurant over in is it the Fountain Square area?
No, it's Green Bay Road.
Oh, Green Bay Road, okay.
Oh, the current restaurant is Fountain Square, yes.
Okay, yes. So the city council offered to vacate, which means to basically sell a piece of unused public property to a private owner. And there was a decision by the city council back in December to sell it for the price of $27,668. That sale has not gone through, and the private property owner has asked to reduce the price. So if the committee would like to make a recommendation tonight, the motion would be basically to direct staff and the Corporation Council to prepare an amended and restated ordinance vacating the portion of Sherman Avenue public right-of-way in exchange for an amount, and you fill in the blank.
That's what we want to do.
You want to make the motion, Greg?
Somebody's got to fill in the blank.
Greg?
Make the motion for a dollar.
Okay.
I'll make the second.
Okay.
Can I ask a question before?
Yes.
Was Big Ed's offering to pay $2,800? Was that the offer that was on the table?
He's offering to pay $2,500.
Offering to pay $2,500. It seems to me that I get the dollar and I get the reason why we're in favor of this happening, and I'm all for it. But if someone's offering to pay $2,500, why are we going to say, no, don't pay us $2,500, just give us a dollar instead? Because the law requires something. So, I mean, that $2,500, and I'm not trying to be ridiculous here, we're not talking about that much money, but that foots the bill for that ridiculous ComEd lease we have to pay for our sign for the next 5 years. So I think the precedent we should set is that it doesn't matter the amount. We should just try to make a decision that's in the best, that's best for the city. If someone's offering us to pay more money, why wouldn't we accept it?
I don't know that he knew that the price could be that low. In my opinion, if it wasn't wetlands, it was buildable, then the price would be much higher. This is wetlands, it can't be built on.
Right, and I don't want to spend I don't want to overthink this. I'm just saying that somebody was offering to pay us $2,500.
I don't think you knew.
And now we're unilaterally reducing the price to $1. It seems the city can
We sell any
use all the money it can get.
We sell any number of properties for $1. So if you're looking at precedent, you got this guy's buying a piece. Other people bought many properties for $1 a lot, right? And now this guy comes along, you're going to make him pay $2,500 because he was unaware. I think it's only fair. What your motion is, Alderman, I agree with you.
Yeah, a minute ago you didn't even want to pass it, or you were asking questions and sounded critical of this. And I think if we're business friendly, we need to be friendly to the other businesses in the city and collect as much as we can for the city property that we're selling. Let's push money back in our accounts that we can then deploy and use for other resources. But to just start giving stuff away when someone's offered to pay a little bit more, I know some people don't like it, but we are running a business. No other business owner is going to do that. So if someone's offering $2,500, I say accept that offer. Let them pay the $2,500. Let's get it back on the tax roll, and let's move on. It doesn't make sense for us to bid against ourselves and say, no, we've gone from $27,000. We're going to reject your offer of $2,500, and we'll accept $1. You play that out in any other business in the city of Waukegan, and people look at you like you got 5 eyes.
Yeah. I agree with Alderman Hayes.
Call for the question. We have a motion.
We have a motion and a second.
So let me just be clear.
Okay.
So if this motion doesn't pass, then we can re-vote on a different amount?
It'll go
Was
to
that a
the-
yes?
It'll go to the $2,500 amount, right?
Yep. Yes, if this motion does not pass, then you can make a new motion.
Are we ready? Any further questions, comments?
We're voting on $1, just to be clear. Voting on the amendment to
Yes,
$1.
yeah, the motion was because there wasn't actually an ordinance that was prepared for this. The motion is to direct city staff and Corporation Council to prepare an ordinance restating and amending the ordinance vacating a portion of Sherman Avenue public right-of-way in exchange for $1.
And we have a first and a second, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
I have a motion by Alderman Moiseo and a second by Alderman Turner.
all right.
Alderman Florian?
No.
Alderman Hayes?
No.
Alderman Turner?
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo? Chairman Rivera?
No. Thank you. Okay,
So now we have to redo it.
Make another motion.
Council will negotiate the price with the council.
So now, can I make a motion that we accept an offer of $2,500?
I'll second that motion.
okay. Any questions to the motion?
It'll be renegotiated in the council.
Anything that comes out of committee is strictly a recommendation.
Exactly. Let's go.
Are you ready for the roll call,
Yes.
sir? Okay. Alderman Florian?
Aye.
Alderman Hayes?
Aye.
Alderman Turner?
Oh.
Alderman Moiseo?
No.
Chairman Rivera?
Aye.
Motion passed, didn't it?
Okay, next item.
So just so you know, that will not appear on tonight's council meeting because we have to
Correct.
prepare the ordinance that would appear in 2 weeks on the 21st.
Okay, thank you. Item B, zoning calendar number 2691, a text amendment to add funeral home and cremation retort to Article 8, Section 8.6-4 of the zoning ordinance as a conditional use in the B5 zoning district.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Alderman Turner.
I'll second.
Seconded by Alderman Florian. Any questions to the motion?
I have a couple questions. I think the petitioners are here, right? Okay. I was here for the planning and zoning meeting where you talked about it. I'm a little concerned, I'm not clear on the, I don't know what the particles, the pollution, whatever you want to call it. Can you clarify some of that for me? I just don't want to bring in a business that's going to create
Of course, yeah.
more.
So I'll introduce myself. My name is Jake Pardue, and I work for the company that's going to be supplying.
Get close, yeah, much
sorry
closer.
about that.
There you go.
I work for the company that's going to be supplying Peterson and Patch with their cremation equipment. And yeah, as far as a particulate matter, it's essentially just CO2. To give you an example of how much it will emit, the fuel costs to run one cremation is anywhere from $15 to $20, so it's not an extreme amount of fuel. Pearson and Patch is not they're not going to be performing a high volume of cremations. It sounds like they're planning to do 100 to 150 cremations per year, which is 2 to 3 per week roughly. To give you another comparison, the particulate matter that's emitted, our machine is so advanced, if you were to look at the particulate matter that's emitted from a wood fireplace in our homes, there's actually more particulate matter that's emitted from that wood fireplace than what comes out of our chimney stack. It's a very highly advanced piece of equipment.
Okay, you just said between your fireplace and a cremation, so say, you're talking about one fire a night for 2 hours versus one cremation, is that kind of the?
Yes, that's, if you were to run a cremation for 3 hours and have your fireplace run for 3 hours, it'd be more particulate matter coming out of your fireplace than our.
Okay, and what about the content of that particulate matter, though? When you're burning wood, it's a little bit different than when you're burning a human body. There's mercury, there's other things potentially in the human body.
There's no mercury in the human body. It's only
I have mercury fillings in my teeth.
Yeah, only in mercury dental dental fillings. So you'd have to have a case with a mercury dental filling. Even then, that's such a small amount. It's no different than a light bulb breaking or, you know, the mercury in a can of tuna. It's a very, very, very tiny amount of mercury. And again, that's becoming increasingly more rare nowadays. Dentists don't use mercury fillings anymore. So it's becoming increasingly rare to come across that.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Any further questions? Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, I have a motion, correct?
We have a motion.
Motion by Alderman Turner, second by Alderman Florian.
Okay.
Alderman
Roll call, please.
Alderman Florian?
Aye.
Alderman Hayes?
Aye.
Alderman Turner?
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo? Aye. Chairman Rivera?
Aye, thank you. Item C, zoning calendar number 2690, a map amendment for 408 North Sheridan Road from R5 Limited General Residence to B5 Central Service District. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Moiseo, second.
I'll second.
Second by Alderman Florian. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Florian?
Aye.
Alderman Hayes?
Aye.
Alderman Turner?
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo?
Aye.
Chairman Rivera?
Aye. Thank you. Item D, zoning calendar number 2692, a conditional use permit for a funeral home with cremation retort in the B5 Central Service District at 408 North Sheridan Road.
So
May I have a
moved.
motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Alderman Florian, seconded by Alderman Turner. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Florian?
Aye.
Alderman Hayes?
Aye.
Alderman Turner?
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo?
Aye.
Chairman Rivera?
Aye. Thank you very much. Item E, zoning calendar number 2693, a conditional use permit for a tattoo studio with at least 40% floor space dedicated to non-tattoo related art gallery at 316 North Genesee Street in the B5 Central Service District. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Moiseo,
I'll second it. but
seconded by Alderman Turner. Any questions to the motion?
I just have some comment. Yeah, so we're going to allow them to have a tattoo parlor. However, as part of the business that they want to do, we are going to require them, the business owner, to offer additional product, artwork or some sort. He's got to dedicate 40% of his floor space to something other than tattoos. And I don't understand why we would put that requirement on someone. You know, it's like if somebody said, hey, you know what, I want to open a store, I'm going to sell hamburgers. I'm selling some hamburgers, man. And you say, well, yeah, but you got to have 40% of your space dedicated to selling pickles or hot dogs. It doesn't make sense that we will, all right, so anyway, that's my thought on it. So, yeah, my vote is to go ahead, do it.
Okay.
Unless we can amend that to remove the requirement for 40% of the floor space being dedicated to something other than tattoos.
Can I ask something? I was at Planning and Zoning when they talked about this too, and isn't this in relation to like wanting the downtown to be like an art district, or I don't know what word to use?
That's correct. The downtown districts are the only districts where tattoo studios are allowed, and they're only allowed with the 40% of the floor space as art gallery. And that was how it was approved in the first place, how it was added to code in the first place.
So it doesn't seem fair to allow this one to not meet that when we've made the other ones do it. Well, I mean, I think we only have one other one, don't we?
Right. I don't believe, and Corporation Counsel, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe we could remove that since that is how the zoning ordinance is
Have they
written.
asked us to remove it?
No.
Okay.
All right.
This gentleman's
keep
an
bidding
artist
against
and
ourselves.
plans to display his own art. Sorry.
Are they here? Are they objecting to that?
You're not objecting, that was just my objection, because I believe in less.
Okay.
Let's vote.
He's an artist and planning to display his own artwork.
There we go, good enough.
There you go.
All right.
Good on him.
Okay. Should we have a vote?
Yeah.
Do we have a first and a second?
We have a motion by Alderman Moiseo and a second by Alderman Turner.
All right.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Chairman Rivera.
Aye. Thank you. Item F, zoning calendar number 2694, a variance for parking requirement for a proposed school administration building / education service center, wraparound center, and multipurpose / training / meeting room at 214 West Washington Street in the downtown Lakefront Overlay District. May I have a motion, please? Anyone?
I'll make a motion.
All right.
We can have a discussion.
All right,
And I'll
good.
second.
And, okay, so we have Alderman Hayes, motion, and,
I would say that these are my employers, but I think I can make an educated decision on this.
okay, I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions?
Hold on, I just wanted to clarify. So,
I have no financial interest in this. They're not going to promise me a job. I'm leaving in May.
do you believe that you could be unbiased in your consideration of this?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, we have a question.
So I'd like to know, because I think there's a little bit of confusion from what State Rep Rita Mayfield said and what some of the audience members said, and I don't know who's going to answer this question, but so at the wraparound center, are these services going to be offered there, or it's just a place where you go to get direction of where you end up going and it's out in the community? I don't have to call on you.
All
You
right,
can come
yes,
on up
please,
here.
come up here.
You have to come by the microphone, sorry.
Before she walks up there, I think it would be better if maybe we had a presentation, maybe and use the Peoria as a model. Again, this happens all the time. We don't communicate, we don't paint the picture, it gets to us, or to you guys, and everybody's like, and the rumor mill starts, and this starts, and it just gets a snowball effect, and it goes out of control. And I'm sure Rita will do a wonderful job of explaining it right now.
Absolutely.
But I think we need, this is not going to be on, this is not on this night's agenda to be voted.
Correct.
I think before the next council meeting, maybe have a presentation of what this is going to be, what it's going to entail, and all of that, so that we have all the questions answered. I'm sure you will answer most of the night, but there might not be people here at the next meeting that need to know about it. So that's my recommendation to this, but go ahead, Rita, thank you.
Okay, and I'd just like to say that the school district did hold more than one meeting, community meeting, that none of these business owners attended, that talked about the wraparound service, the center, and the services that were going to be offered. Somebody brought up, we don't need another food pantry. There's 2 food pantries downtown Waukegan. We're not putting one in the wraparound center, but we will direct you right across the street to the UMA Center and tell you can go get some groceries over there for free. We're going to direct you around the corner to the CAP building and tell you can go get some groceries for free. We're not going to provide drug addiction services, but we will tell you that if you go down Genesee Street on that corner of Hope, there, you can get your addiction treatment there, okay? That's what the wraparound center will do. We had numerous suicide attempts from our students in this last year, and we had to put extra, the state provided the high school with extra money for mental health counselors inside of the high school. So we're not putting them there, but we're going to be able to tell the parent, if your child is in crisis, this is who you can call. This is who you can go and get services to. When you need to register your students, guess what? We got one spot for you to go. You don't have to take, because you got kids in grade school, middle school, and high school, you're not going to 3 different buildings. You will go to one building, which will bring traffic downtown. Businesses go where there is traffic. If there's a lot of traffic that is coming to one area, The surrounding businesses will benefit. And right now, we have nothing that is bringing people downtown Waukegan. We need something. And this will definitely do it. This is a professional building. It will not necessarily be administered by the school district itself. They're hiring an executive director who will oversee the wraparound center and its functions. So we're not taking administrators out of the schools. We're not taking teachers out of the schools. We're not taking anything from the school. This is a compliment to the school and to our community.
I think CLC would argue with you that there's nothing bringing people to downtown Waukegan.
Oh, I'm so happy because I just cut that ribbon. I can't wait to take another class over there, but yes. But prior to that, we had very few offerings, and I've, parked down the street and walked back to Subway. I didn't bypass Subway and go to Home Depot for a hot dog.
Okay, thank you
Thank
for
you.
that.
So, excuse me.
Further questions?
Yeah, so
I have another question.
Okay,
Can
all
I-
right, hold on.
The gentleman who owns the building next door, can I ask you, do you have parking for your building? Do you have off-street parking? So what was your plan for parking for these, you said 3 apartments and a store? You're just going to use street parking overnight? Like the people who live there have to park their car somewhere. Okay, and when did you buy the building? So the school had already purchased the bank by then, did you know that? Did you know when you bought your building that the school had already bought the building? Okay, all right, thank you.
Any other questions?
Question.
Alderman Hayes? Alderman Hayes, and then we'll go down here.
Just the target audience for the wraparound center. Are we talking, because I feel like there's confusion, people are talking about members of the community that are not students or don't have kids in schools, and then we're talking about parents with kids in 3 different schools, and this is a one-stop
It is
shop.
open to all citizens within the city of Waukegan. That is the target audience, the city of Waukegan's residents.
Right.
So a lot of times residents don't know where to go to get help. They call my office, they call the township, they call the city. Where do I go for this? Where do I go for that? A lot of them don't even know who their aldermen are. And we have to tell them, here is your alderman, here's his phone number, here's his email address. So it's just having this center. It's a professional building that will be administering professional services, by appointment only, because we're not just, it's not going to be open to just, don't just come in. They'll facilitate the appointment piece of it. But what we're trying to do is just provide a space so that people can know where to go. A lot of times they'll say, well, you can call 211, and 211 is wonderful, but they don't know all of the resources in Waukegan. I found that out myself because I've had to make a few phone calls for residents. But to have one space where individuals could go to partner with 211, come on up, Brandon, to partner with other organizations and say, these are the services that are available. Come on in.
So it sounds like mental health services are not being administered at the wraparound center. People are given directions on where they can go to go find mental health services, for example.
And I want to be
Right.
super clear and like with state rep, as of right now, right? This plan, as far as what social service agencies, if any, well, not if any, that's part of what the money is used for, will be in that building. There's only 6 units in that bottom floor. College Lake County is also across the street. So part of the things that we are looking at are what are the things, where does it benefit for those organizations to be in that facility? And someone talked about it being the private sector. We are administering it. In Peoria, all of those entities that are inside of that wraparound center are individual organizations. They fundraise on their own. They get their financing on their own. The benefit that the district provides is space and oversight. We can make sure we can track how many students are coming and using the services. We can report that information out, is because we don't want it to be a waste of taxpayer dollars, right? We're getting money from the state of Illinois, which is why it has to be open to all residents, not just Waukegan students. But the first floor, and this is to Alderman Moiseo's point, if we need to come, and I want to do it soon, is we are talking about a timeline. This is aggressive. We brought this building in 2019. It is now 2023. We are looking to start to move individuals from Lincoln Center once the building is completed so that that building can be transformed for student use, right? It's currently a school that we use as an office administration building. So I think if we need to, in the next week, and that won't really deter the timeline, invite all of the aldermen, re-go through the plan as far as what we're thinking about doing, 4x4 schematics and what the idea was, that make you all more comfortable. So I agree with Alderman Moiseo is that sometimes, no matter how much we think we've communicated, is there still seems to be a little bit of, like you said, confusion. And I want to make sure that from the district standpoint, we are extremely transparent about what's coming. I keep saying we want to be good neighbors. We're doing this because we feel like it's in the best interest of Waukegan students and our community as a whole. So we want you guys to be supportive of this plan, right? It's about collaboration. We sit on the intergovernmental committee meeting and we talk about all of the needs that we have, and we talk about how the services in the right hand and the left hand doesn't know what each other is doing. By centralizing these services, by working with CLC across the street, not to make sure that it's just we want to support businesses in the community. So I want to be super clear about that. Is part of why we're moving downtown is not just because we know it'll be a boon to downtown, but it will. We need bodies, right? And so I will leave that and make that you all's choice if we want to provide a presentation and re-walk through that plan. It's a 3-part plan in which we move administrators, we then repurpose Lincoln Center, and then we move another building in the Lincoln Center. So this is step 1 in the 3-part plan, which benefits our students. Somebody talked about our school ratings. That is part of why we're doing this. We are transforming and making Waukegan a place that we want to raise our families. Have 3 boys. This is what it's for. That's who it's for. It's not for, honestly, us. It's to make sure that we are providing the services that our families need, and the resources, and doing it in an easy and efficient and effective way. And we've gotten funding to be able to organize it that doesn't cost the taxpayers. So that I think is a local taxpayers. Somebody paying.
All right, any further questions, Tom?
Yes,
No,
I have
okay,
one question.
we have a question down here.
Thank you so much. I really validate the fact of having a wraparound program, and I like how you said having the right hand, the left hand coming to work together, because my other things that I do is working in social services. And I like the fact you have it in one-stop shop, because our population, they have a hard time connecting those services. I'm understanding wraparound is having one thing together. I'm not just sending my client over here and then over there, and they can't get here, and they trying to catch a ride there. So just having one. So is that what I'm hearing? You're collaborating with existing services, is that correct? In one spot. Thumbs up. And you answered the question. Thank you so much.
All right, yes, Alderman.
I received several calls from local business people from Friday until this morning regarding the wraparound center. And certainly some of the information that I've heard tonight was incorrect what I was given on Friday and today. Because first of all, it was told to me that the administrative offices would not move into that building, that there would be lines of individuals at that building that did not have the parking required for the building, and also their concern was how it would impact the rest of the downtown area. And as I told those individuals, that's not my understanding, but certainly I would be here tonight so that we can get a clear indication of what was going on with that particular building. Because I know initially when it was purchased, it was supposed to be for administrative offices at that particular time in 2019. So hopefully, as we move in this process, that we have a clear understanding of what the building is going to be used for, how we will take care of those concerns that the business individuals have concerns about with parking and long lines of people getting treatment, causing an uproar in the downtown area. As the alderman in that particular area, I think that we need to make sure that we are helping individuals throughout the city of Waukegan. And certainly what I've heard tonight is that we will disperse people to certain areas, but that's the hub where people can go and get the correct information. So hopefully we can dispel some untruths make sure that we're all on the same page so that we can support an effort that will help our students. Certainly, those of you that have the correct information in terms of student achievement and everything else, we need to make sure that we as citizens support the school district, okay? If you have the funds to send your children to private school, well, to you. But certainly, we need to make sure we support our public school system. Thank you.
My turn?
I'm sorry, Alderman?
Thank you. So, excuse me, first, I'm a little confused by the term wraparound. I don't know why you can't call it the expanded social services mental health clinic or something. Well, yeah. But also, I just want to point out, and I think someone else alluded to it, certainly the gentleman who owns properties and businesses down there, but here's what we got. We got the Waukegan Downtown Business District, the Waukegan Entertainment District, we got the Waukegan Lakeshore, College of Lakeshore campus, we got the Waukegan Township, we got the Lake County Jail, the Lake County Court Building, and whatever else. Oh, we got the state rep, we got the state senator, we got all these services centered in downtown Waukegan, and the direction, as I understand it, you know, according to our master plan, this is supposed to be a downtown business district, but we're putting other entities, other agencies, government bodies into that district. Excuse me. They're taking properties off the taxpayer rolls, 214 Washington Street being one, College of Lake County being another, the Carnegie Museum being another. The entire block from Washington to Water to from Genesee to Sheridan is off the tax rolls as of right now. Ultimately, our plan, our thought, our hopes and prayers are that someone will buy that land and put it back on the rolls and develop it. We have a conundrum of stuff going on down there, and I think we need to solidify around our master plan, right, which calls for what? Downtown Business District and Entertainment District. Additionally, let me finish, Rita. Additionally, I want to go back, as again someone alluded to, you know, in years past, we had a lot of social services centered downtown. I touched on some of them with the county, the court building and the jail and so forth. But we used to have the Social Security Administration, we had Human Services down there, we had Probation Department, we had a whole bunch of stuff. And over time, we got them to go elsewhere so that we would free up and create this business-friendly environment that's conducive to business. And now we're bringing back more non-tax paying entities and expanding services, social services, if you will. I don't think it's conducive to our master plan for a downtown business and entertainment district.
The
That's
school
just my
district
thought.
already bought the building. I mean, we
Understand.
can't undo that.
Not
So
that bill.
it's not, right.
I agree.
It's
but
not going back
I don't
on the
think we
tax
need-
rolls, no matter what
I
they
don't
do
think we
with
need to
it.
bring more social services, and also, that 211, we pitched that last year. Wow, 211, the magic bell, right? So, and you said, well, and you're probably right, I wouldn't dispute you that they aren't aware of all the services. Then we need to help them fully populate their roster of available services as opposed to facilitating an entire new organization in downtown. We do have parking challenges downtown ad nauseum. Even though we got those parking lots, the parking lots are spread around, and there's a walk from one parking lot to the other services. So I just think it needs more thought, more consideration. I'm not locked into it either yay or nay at this point. I look forward to hearing further discussion.
Okay, any other comments or questions from the alderman?
Call for the question.
Okay, and we have do we have a motion?
We have a motion by Alderman Hayes and a second by Alderman Florian.
Okay,
Can I ask a quick clarifying question?
Yes.
Are we waiting for a presentation at the next meeting, or are we voting tonight? Just so I'm clear on
This
it.
would just be to vote the recommendation of the council, and then we have a presentation, we'll go from there.
Okay, that's fine.
all right.
All right.
Alderman Florian?
Aye.
Alderman Hayes?
Aye.
Alderman Turner?
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo? Chairman Rivera?
Aye, thank you. Next item is item G, zoning calendar number 2695, a conditional use permit for a proposed school administration building / education services center, wraparound center, and multi-purpose / training / meeting room at 214 West Washington Street in the downtown / lakefront overlay district. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Florian?
Aye.
Alderman Hayes?
Aye.
Alderman Turner?
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo? Chairman Rivera?
Aye, thank you. Okay, the next item, we'll go back to old business. And we have item A under old business. Ordinance approving HPC calendar number L-1-22, the landmarking of the wall / fence at 1201 North Sheridan Road. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
All right, thank you. May I have a second?
Give it a second just to get this on the, whatever.
Sure, I'll give you a second.
All right, thank you. And now, do we have any questions?
The outcome, going to go to council, let's just move it in the interest of time.
There you go.
I just want to point out that if we don't historically landmark this, they can do whatever they want, either way. They can preserve it, they can not preserve it, they can change it, they can not change it. We won't be tying them into trying to restore something that, at this point, I'm not even sure can be restored. It sounds like some of the bricks have disappeared. So although there's a lot of emotion around this and some people are very passionate about it, I think it may be wisest for us to just let the school district handle their business, and they can preserve it if they want to. I mean, by us not doing this, they still get the option to do that if that's what they want to do. So that's just my 2 cents.
All right, any other comments?
I agree with Lynn Florian.
All right, may we go with a vote?
Circle this day on the calendar.
Oh.
Wow, Brett
right.
and Keith?
What? I
Mind
started a
blowing.
trend, man.
Quick, may we have a vote, please?
Yes, let's, before someone changes
Alderman
their mind.
Florian?
Aye.
Alderman Hayes?
Aye.
Alderman Turner?
I mean, I really wanted to say no, I'm sorry.
Wait, hold on,
no,
hold
no,
on,
no,
yeah.
no, no, wait a minute.
Opposing the landmark, right?
No,
What's it say?
it's an ordinance approving
So I
the
say
landmark.
no.
Thank you, all
I
right?
vote to no.
Okay, yes, if you want to recommend denial of the landmark status, which
Nay.
seems to be where there at least some people vote no.
Correct.
If you want
Sorry.
to approve the landmark, recommend approval of the landmark status, vote aye. And
Great.
once again, this is only a recommendation that will go up to the full city council for consideration.
Sorry, Noel.
That's okay, I'll start again. So this is a motion to approve the landmarking. Alderman Florian?
No.
Alderman Hayes?
No, sorry for the confusion.
Quite all right. Alderman Turner?
No.
Alderman Moiseo? Chairman Rivera?
No, thank you.
So the final ordinance will go up to the city council in 2 weeks for consideration with a negative recommendation from this committee.
Okay, the next item for the Community Development Committee is reports, communications, and information. And we have environmental issues advisory group discussion. Alderman Moiseo?
I think, I know Mr. Rexalis has given us a lot of information, and you know, our history in Waukegan is we need to address environmental issues past and present and going forward. We need to do that. How we do that is, I guess, maybe the question. Do you want a standing committee? Do you want a subcommittee? How do you want to do it? My recommendation is you're going to have a new council in May. We don't know what that's going to be. There's one for sure. I'm not going to be here. So you need to decide how you want to do that going forward. But it needs to be addressed. We need to do that. Now, is that something you're going to do every month about environmental issues, or only when they arise and need to be addressed? I don't know what the best way to go forward with that is. So that's gonna, but we've batted this football around, we've kicked this beach ball up in the air for too long. We need to do it.
Agreed. Thank you. Comments?
Is there a way, and I don't even know what this would look like, Stuart, but is there a way to have the environment kind of as an overarching, you know, like just earlier we talked about the crematorium. There's an environmental aspect to that. You know, there's almost everything we talk about up here has some bit of environmental aspect to it. Is there any way to do something where we have some kind of a, I don't know, a filter or whatever you want to call it, that we put ordinances through to make sure that we're not creating a burden down the road environmentally?
An environmental burden.
Thank you.
You know, the mayor, there was an email string about this, and the mayor kind of called out what direction she wanted to take. Mr. Ruxalis, I can't find the email. Maybe you recall, I thought she said something along the lines of setting up a subcommittee that would meet on an as-need basis, as opposed to a singular committee that would need a chairman and you know, committee members and so forth and so on. So I really think, and don't see the mayor out there, but maybe the mayor would like to weigh in, or if not, you can take my word for what I remember of that email. I'll try to find it before we wrap it up.
All right. Well, it looks like we have several comments, opinions, and where we should go with this. I think Alderman Mosio does have a point. We do have elections coming up. We will have changes. We may have changes to the council. At that point, maybe we can have a little bit more direction where we're going to go with this. So if there are no other comments,
Just
go
offer
ahead,
a
Alderman
comment.
Hayes.
At the risk of kind of continuing to kick it down the road, I said this before and I got some pushback. I think it makes sense to have people come to the city council if you have information on fly ash ponds and why you're against fly ash ponds, or you want to educate the council and have an opportunity to speak to everybody who watches these meetings. Please come. You will have an opportunity to speak. I don't know if we can carve out more time if it's about a certain issue, but it is, I would find it immensely helpful if people from the community would come in and talk to us about these issues and make a recommendation. Anybody who comes up for audience time, I think the greatest impact you're going to have is to state your issue, say whatever you want to say, and then make a recommendation at the end of it. It gives us something to kind of hold on to and wrap our arms around. So from an environmental perspective, I think it makes sense to come in, state your issue, talk to us about it, and make a recommendation, and maybe that's a way to push things forward. I want to take this as seriously as anybody else in the community. The ETO, the coal ash ponds, the forever chemicals, it infiltrates everything in our community, everything. We want to be business friendly, you got to clean it up. So I want to take this seriously. I don't want to push it off till after elections, but I would encourage people to come to us so that we can.
You could do this too.
So I got this email here.
Hold on. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
You could, we do have a zoning board that is non-elected. And anything that, from a committee or a board that comes forward to us is just a recommendation. The only thing at the end of the day is what does the city council decide. You could have that, you could have an environmental board of non-us that could meet and discuss issues that they think are important and send it to recommendations to the city council. Say, hey, we think this needs to be done. We think this needs to be done. That maybe you've expedited the process, and it would just come to a council agenda, and it doesn't have to be approved or disapproved. It's just a recommendation. That's another format. I don't know. Whatever it's going to be, whatever.
Right. So you guys are talking about establishment, right? So the mayor has already done that, and I'll read from this email. She says, she was speaking to Mr. Ruxalis. That is blah, blah, blah. Committee chair people get a stipend and blah, blah. That is not. However, I have placed it as an ad hoc committee, meaning it can meet if and when needed. It just can't be a regular committee meeting. It would serve under the Community Development Committee, which meets February 6th, and it would be headed by co-chair Alderman Moiseo. So it's already, the mayor has already set a committee that meets underneath as a subcommittee of this committee, and not you wouldn't chair it, but your co-chair would chair it. So that's already established. I don't know what we're talking about.
All right, well, with that said, Alderman Moiseo?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nope.
Thank you. The Community Development Committee meeting has ended at 6:59 p.m. Thank you very much. Shortly, we will have